I wanted to talk about the actual sales process when you sell to an account or a shop or retail. It's all the same thing. So, generally speaking, I want any of my sales rep guys, anyone that's worked sales within the industry, to comment on this below. A couple different variations of how it goes, but if you lock in an account for retail, a lot of times what you'll do through the sales process, once you show them your line, so you show all your garments or whatever, if it's via online, you're sending them your PDF of your line sheet or your t-shirts or whatever it is. But typically if it's happening in a trade show, or you're a rep, or you're an independent rep, or you are repping your line yourself, then you're going to the shop and you're showing them, the garments on the hangers, and so you're doing a presentation for the line. Once they make a buy, you might hear me say PO, so that's a purchase order, general lingo for the buy. So I think really typical is 30 days net, so you get the full balance of the payment of the goods 30 days after it's shipped and arrived at the store. There's also different terms that you can have. For example, the shop has the right to cancel the goods if they come in late after X amount of days. I believe that's 30 days also. Again, any of my sales guys, please weigh in on this, because I'm not a sales manager. But that's it, typically. So you'll sell the goods, they'll make their buy, and then that purchase order is going to be good for 30 days after it arrives. Here's the big thing that I want to highlight for would-be brand owners, or if you do own a clothing line right now, and you're realizing this or figuring this out, that means all the goods that you make and produce, whether it's domestic or in China or overseas, whatever you're doing, you have paid for those goods way before they land in the United States, or whatever, if you're screen printing locally or whatever you're doing. Before a PO is created for that product, you have already paid for the goods. Most of your budget, your meager budget, is going to go towards production, and you're going to need to be able to eat for a couple months, not having that money, because it's going to be invested into the product and then invested into the retail for them to get a 30-day head start for them to move it, so they could pay you on money that's made once they sell it. So that's a lot of leverage on their side. It's a lot of burden on your side. And I'm not saying it's easy for retail too. You got to think about what kind of position they are in to have multiple brands in their shop and have to, take the burden of moving all of that product. Specific things on terms, again, on the contract could mean a lot of different things. It's a legal contract when they're signing off on the terms. A whole nother set of videos on shops that don't pay you or pay late. It's a whole nother subject, but I just wanted to cover the basics on this one. That's typically how it happens. So I did a video on consignment. I'll put a link to that right here. That's another thing that might come up. But other than that, this is how a general transaction goes for retail. And that, also I want to say, this is why it's better to get a chain retail, because now you're doing the buys for, let's just say there's 10 doors in that retail chain. I mean, for one PO, I mean, you're doing the buying for 10 shops, which is going to be better numbers, or better, even if it's a test run, it's still going to be typically a higher test run than one door that has a really big location and big square footage. In any case, hope that helps. Comments, anything to add to the conversation, drop it down below. Thanks for clicking in. I'll see you guys on the next one. Jon Phenom is saying peace.